8 seconds can save a life. Reading Festival, 1992. Nirvana on stage. Kurt Cobain in the middle of a song when something catches his eye. Not something beautiful, something terrible. A girl, 20 rows back, being crushed. The crowd doesn't notice. Security doesn't see. The band keeps playing. But Kurt sees. He always sees. Stops the song cold, guitar hanging loose, walks to the microphone. The crowd thinks he's about to say something funny, something rebellious, something curt. Instead, his voice cuts through the confusion. Calm, direct, urgent. He points into the crowd, calls out security, stops 50,000 people from moving. 8 seconds of silence while everyone tries to understand what's happening. Then, chaos. Security diving in, the crowd parting. A girl pulled out, unconscious. Paramedics rushing. Kurt standing at the edge of the stage, watching, making sure. The band frozen behind him. When she's safe, he picks up his guitar, says 2 words, starts playing again. No explanation, no applause, just music. That girl is alive today because Kurt Cobain stopped a concert for 8 seconds. And this is what happened. Reading, England, August 30th, 1992. Sunday, final day of Reading Festival. 3 days of music, 3 days of rain. The field is destroyed, mud everywhere. Thick brown sludge swallowing boots, sticking to jeans, covering everything. Nobody cares. 50,000 people showed up for this, showed up for Nirvana. The stage is massive. Scaffolding towers, lights rigged overhead, speakers stacked, sound system powerful enough to flatten buildings. Behind the stage, green hills roll into gray sky. England in August. Rain stopped an hour ago, left behind wet air, cold enough to see breath. Warm bodies pressed together create steam rising off the crowd like fog. Nirvana scheduled for 6 p.m., headlining, closing the festival. By 5:30, the crowd is packed tight, shoulder to shoulder, no personal space, moving as one mass, breathing as one organism. Everyone here for the same reason, to see the band that changed everything. Backstage, Kurt sits alone. White fold-out chair, concrete floor. Cigarette burning between fingers. Wearing the hospital gown, blue with white dots. The one from the photo shoot. The one that became iconic. Long blonde hair hanging over face. Eyes distant, staring at nothing. Chris and Dave somewhere nearby, talking, laughing, loose. Kurt never loose before shows, always tight, anxious, stomach turning. Hates this part. The waiting, the anticipation, the knowledge that 50,000 people expect something from him. Someone knocks. Stage manager, 5 minutes. Kurt stands, drops cigarette, grinds it under sneaker. Picks up guitar, blue Fender Mustang, covered in stickers, beat to hell. Perfect. Walks toward stage entrance, hears the roar. Crowd knows they're coming. Sound builds, anticipation turning into demand. Lights drop, crowd explodes, screaming so loud it drowns thought. Kurt walks out, Chris right behind. Dave already at drums. Kurt doesn't acknowledge crowd, doesn't wave, doesn't smile, just straps on guitar, checks tuning, nods at Dave. Drums hit. Crowd erupts. Kurt starts playing. Breed first. Fast, aggressive, perfect opener. His voice tears through speakers. Raw, damaged, beautiful. The crowd moves as one, jumping, moshing, arms raised, singing every word. 50,000 voices joining his. creating something bigger than music, creating moment, creating memory. Song ends. Straight into Drain You. No pause, no banter, just music. Kurt plays like he's trying to destroy something. Guitar hanging low, body bent, face contorted. This is where he disappears. Into sound, into noise, into the only place that makes sense. Christ anchors everything. Bass rumbling through ground, through bones. Dave hits drums like he's settling scores. Precise violence, controlled chaos. Together they create wall of sound. Dense, heavy, overwhelming. Crowd loves it. Feeding off energy, pushing harder. Moshing turning violent, bodies slamming, elbows flying. Natural aggression of youth and music and festival exhaustion. Security watches edges, ready, trained for this, for crowds that lose control. Kurt finishes Drain You, pauses, breathes, looks up for the first time, sees crowd, really sees it. Sea of faces, mud-covered, exhausted, ecstatic. This is what he does, what he built, what he never wanted but can't escape. Starts aneurysm, slower intro, building tension. Crowd sways, anticipating explosion. Kurt plays opening riff, again, building. Dave counts off, song detonates. Crowd surges, bodies pressing forward, compression wave moving through mass, natural physics of packed humanity. Kurt is lost in it, eyes closed, playing by muscle memory, voice shredding, giving everything. This is the only honest thing, only real thing. The rest is performance, expectation, image. But this is truth. Then something changes. Some instinct, some peripheral awareness. Kurt's eyes open, scan crowd, not looking at them, looking through them, searching for something wrong, something off. He learned this years ago. Aberdeen, small shows, watching for fights, for people getting hurt, for moments turning dangerous. Developed sixth sense, reading energy, reading danger. 20 rows back, left side. Movement catches his eye. Different movement. Not jumping, not moshing, struggling. Someone struggling. Girl, teenager, maybe 17, blonde hair, denim jacket. Being crushed, literally crushed. Bodies pressing in, no space. Can't breathe, can't move. Hands up trying to push away, failing. Face pale, eyes wide, panic. Crowd doesn't notice, too lost in music. Security doesn't see, too far, wrong angle. Band keeps playing. Dave pounding drums, Christ locked in bass line. Kurt sees, stops playing, just stops, mid-song. Hands go still. Guitar hangs silent. Drums continue for 2 beats. 3. Dave realizes. Stops. Christ looks up, confused. Stops. Silence crashes in. 50,000 people suddenly quiet. Confused. What happened? Technical problem? Kurt sick? Kurt doesn't explain. Drops guitar. Lets it fall. Feedback screams. Walks to edge of stage. Stage lights blind. He shields eyes. Stares into crowd. Looking. Finding her again. Still struggling. Worse now. Sagging. Losing consciousness. 8 seconds of complete silence. No music. No talking. Just Kurt looking. Crowd holding breath. Waiting. Kurt speaks. Not singing. Speaking. Voice calm. Clear. Urgent. Points directly at Spot. Her. Right there. She needs help. Now. Crowd parts. looking. Security moves fast, 2 guards pushing through. Crowd makes space. Sees what Kurt saw. Girl unconscious, held up only by pressure of bodies. Guards reach her. One grabs under arms, other clears path. Crowd steps back, making room, creating corridor. Security carries her out, limp, pale, not moving. Paramedics waiting at barrier. Take her, lay her flat, check breathing, check pulse. Oxygen mask. Kurt standing at stage edge, watching, making sure. Won't move until she's safe. Crowd watches too. Festival atmosphere gone. Reality crashing in. This could be anyone. Could be them. One wrong surge, one moment of bad luck. Difference between concert and tragedy. Paramedics work. 30 seconds. 40. Girl's eyes open, coughing, gasping, alive. They sit her up, checking, making sure. She's okay. Shaken, scared, but okay. Paramedics help her stand, walk her to medical tent. Kurt watches until she's gone. Safe. Then turns, walks back to guitar, picks it up, looks at Christ, at Dave, says 2 words. She's okay. Straps guitar back on. Doesn't address crowd. Doesn't explain. Doesn't need to. Everyone saw. Everyone understands. Counts off. Starts aneurysm again. From beginning. Like nothing happened. Like he didn't just stop 50,000 people. Didn't just save someone's life. But something did happen. Crowd knows it. Energy different now. Not just music. Not just performance. Connection. Real connection. Kurt Cobain isn't just rock star. Isn't just voice on radio. He's person. Person who sees. Person who cares. Person who stops everything when someone needs help. Song finishes. Crowd erupts. Not just for music. For moment. For what he did. What he saw. Kurt doesn't acknowledge it. Moves into next song. School. Fast. Angry. Perfect. But different now. Everything different. Rest of set is different. Crowd more aware. Watching each other. Making space. Helping when someone falls. When someone struggles. Kurt's action rippled through 50,000 people. Changed behavior. Changed awareness. 1 moment. 8 seconds. Everything different. Set ends. Territorial pissings. Final song. Chaos. Destruction. Kurt smashes guitar. Tradition. Expected. But even that feels different. Not performance. Release. Real emotion. Real frustration. Real everything. Band leaves stage. Crowd screaming, wanting more. Encore expected, demanded. Lights stay down. Crowd chants, Nirvana, Nirvana, Nirvana. Band doesn't return. Festival over. Lights come up. Crowd disperses, slow, reluctant. Talking about what they saw, what happened. The girl, the silence. The moment Kurt Cobain stopped being untouchable and became human. Backstage, Kurt sits same chair, same cigarette, different person. Hands shaking, adrenaline fading. Christ asks if he's okay. Kurt nods, doesn't speak. Can't speak. Too much. Too close. Saw himself in that girl. Saw vulnerability. Saw how quickly things go wrong. How easily someone disappears, gets crushed, gets forgotten. Someone brings message. Girl wants to thank him. Kurt nods, agrees. She walks in, wrapped in blanket, paramedic with her. Still pale, still shaken, but alive, walking, breathing. She sees Kurt, starts crying, can't help it, everything hitting at once. Terror, relief, gratitude. Kurt stands, awkward, never knows what to do with gratitude, with emotion. She walks to him, hugs him, tight, desperate, says thank you over and over. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kurt hugs back, gentle, patient, lets her cry, doesn't speak, just there, present, human. She pulls back, wipes eyes, tries to explain, wanted to be close, pushed forward, got stuck, couldn't breathe, couldn't move, thought she was dying, saw light fading, then heard silence, heard his voice, felt movement, felt air, felt life. Kurt listens, nods, says what he always says. I'm glad you're okay. She asks how he saw her. 50,000 people, one girl. How? Kurt thinks. Doesn't have answer. Instinct maybe? Luck? Something. Says, I just looked. She thanks him again, leaves with paramedic. Kurt sits back down, lights cigarette, thinks about that. I just looked. Simple. True. He looked when nobody else did, saw when nobody else saw, stopped when nobody else would. That moment stays with him. Days, weeks, months. Reminds him why music matters. Not fame, not money, not any of that. Moments like this. Real moments. Real connection. Real impact. One girl alive because he paid attention. Because he cared. Because he looked. Years later, interviews ask about Reading 1992. Everyone remembers hospital gown, remembers territorial pissings, remembers chaos. Kurt remembers 8 seconds. Girl in crowd. Silence. Decision to stop. That's what mattered. That's what stays. Girl's name is Emma, lives in Bristol, has kids now, has life. Tells her children about night she almost died, night Kurt Cobain saved her. They don't fully understand. How could they? Kurt is legend now, myth, untouchable figure. But to Emma, he's real. Person who looked, person who saw, person who stopped everything to make sure she lived. She still has ticket stub, framed on wall. Reminder, not just concert, not just music. Reminder that someone cared, someone paid attention, someone chose her life over performance, over expectation, over everything. Emma never met Kurt again. He died 2 years later. When she heard news, she cried, like she knew him. She did. For 8 seconds, he was entirely present for her, entirely focused, entirely committed to her survival. That's intimacy. That's connection. That's everything. She writes letter after he dies, never sends it, keeps it, reads it sometimes, says what she'd say if she could. Thank you for seeing me, for stopping, for caring, for proving that in room of 50,000, I mattered, that my life mattered, that 8 seconds of your attention saved everything. Emma kept that ticket stub in her wallet for years, moved it to frame when it started falling apart. The ink faded, paper yellowed, but date stayed clear. August 30th, 1992. Day she should have died. Day someone saw her instead. Story didn't end with Emma. It spread. People who were there told others, told about moment Kurt stopped mid-song, how whole festival went silent, how he pointed into crowd and security moved, how girl was carried out, how close it came to tragedy instead of story about someone who cared. Jake was there, 19, front row. Watched Kurt's face change, watched him drop guitar, watched him become something other than performer, watched him become person who gave a damn. That moment changed Jake, made him think about what actually mattered, about paying attention, about seeing people. Jake became teacher. Secondary school. Tells students about Reading 1992 every year, about Kurt Cobain stopping concert, about 8 seconds that saved life, about why paying attention matters. Some students listen, some don't. But every few years, one comes back, says that story stuck with them, changed how they see people. Sarah worked security that day, was one of 2 who pulled Emma out, said she'd never seen performer that aware, that willing to sacrifice show for one person. Changed how she did her job after that. Started watching differently. Started trusting instinct that says something's wrong. Sarah became paramedic, works emergency response now. Says she thinks about Kurt sometimes, about how he didn't have training, just had awareness, just had willingness to act. That's what she tries to bring to every call. Dave Grohl talked about it once, years after Kurt died. Said that moment showed him who Kurt really was. Someone who paid attention, someone who saw people, someone who cared so much it hurt. Dave tries to watch crowd way Kurt did, tries to see what others miss. Because Kurt taught him performers have responsibility, not just to play music, to see people, to protect people when needed. Reading Festival still runs, every year. Safety protocols changed after 1992. More security, better training. All because of what almost happened. All because Kurt stopped when he saw danger. New security staff get told about the year Nirvana played, about Girl in Crowd, about 8 seconds that became template for running Safe Festival. Emma tells people she's lived entire life because of 8 seconds. Got married, had children, has grandchild now. All the moments, all the joy, all the pain, all the living exists because someone paid attention, because someone cared, because someone chose her life over performance. That's weight Kurt carried. Not just that moment. All of them. Every person he saw, every person he helped, every person he couldn't help. He felt all of it. That's what made him brilliant. That's what destroyed him. That same awareness that saved Emma. That same ability to see people, to feel their pain, to care so much it became unbearable. Emma tells her grandchildren that someday someone might need them to stop, to pay attention, to see them when no one else does. 8 seconds might save everything. Don't miss that moment. Don't look away. Be like man who saved Grandma. Be present. Be aware. Be human. That's Kurt. Not mythology, not legend, not tortured genius narrative. Just person who paid attention, who saw suffering, who stopped to help, who chose humanity over performance, who gave 8 seconds that became lifetime. Some stories don't end when the music fades. They stay with us, quietly. If this story meant something to you, join our community. Subscribe and share your thoughts below. Where are you watching from? Which city? Which part of the world? We read every comment.